Alright guys, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on the basics of WordPress for all the new writers. Once I've given you your username and your password and you log in, it'll come up as on the dashboard first. You just go find posts or add new will be on your sidebar over here. Click on that, it'll bring up your post where you can write your article. Obviously add your title first. You want to put keywords in here, if you're writing fantasy football, if you're writing daily fantasy, whatever. You're going to want to put as many keywords as you can in your title without making the title sound stupid, because it actually becomes your URL. You can see right at the bottom where it says goingfor2.com/bogus post. That's what I wrote here. It appears here as my URL. Sorry for my voice. I'm getting sick, so my voice is kind of scratchy right now, so bear with me. Alright, so now I've got a bunch of random text down here. Actually, the first thing you want to do before you even get to this point is make sure you hit this toggle toolbar. People always miss this, but there's a lot of options that you're missing here if you don't click that toggle toolbar. So once that's up, obviously write your content here. You can make titles. Just highlight this. This can be your title, whatever. So you're going to finish writing all your content. If you want to add images, basically you go to click on the very front of the part you want to put the image at. Even if you want the image to appear on this side of the article, always click the very front of it. You click Add Media. Usually what I do is I'll go to Google and I'll search Aaron Rodgers, select images. If you go to Tools, you can then select Large because you want to use high-res images. I've already actually added this image, but you would just right-click, save it to wherever you want to save it on your computer. And then when you come over here, this is my download folder. I can just drag and drop this right over here. It'll actually appear. I've already put it in there, but you can see where it's at. So yeah, you would just drag and drop, and then once you're in there, you can go in and select the alignment, right or the left or the center. Usually your first image will be on the right, and your second one will be on the left, and then right, and then left, and so on and so forth. Always select medium. Usually that's what you want to select. You don't have to select medium if you want to do a centered image and you want it to fill the whole page. But usually the medium is the one if you're going to put it to the left or to the right, because on mobile devices, it'll allow the text to still appear on the side of the image. If you go any bigger than 300, it actually will force the text underneath it and it won't look right sometimes. Alright, so that's the top part there. As you move down, now this stuff may be on your sidebar. There's two different ways it sets up, either underneath your article, which is where I have it set, or it sometimes appears in your sidebar. If you ever want to change where it shows up, you go to Screen Options and you can change it. I like to have as much writing space as possible, so I put it all below. Obviously, this is your publish section here. You can save as draft, which is what you do, and then let me know, and I can edit it for you. You can preview it to see what it looks like, and then once you get to the point where you can publish, that's the publish button right there. WP to Twitter, you can just pretty much leave this alone. The only thing you need to really do with this is make sure that in your profile you add your Twitter handle, because it'll actually tag your Twitter handle using this string. This string right here actually is what goes to Twitter. This double hashtag means it puts your title in the tweet. Then it'll say by, and then your account, whatever your Twitter account will be by, whoever, and then it adds the URL of the actual article. So all that'll go straight to Twitter. It tweets it out 3 times, so if you wanted to change your other ones, these are all set. Again, you don't got to change anything if you don't want, but if you want to go in and change some stuff, you definitely can. Just make sure I edit it and look at it to make sure you've done it right, but for the most part, you can just leave this alone. It'll take care of itself. The tweet to, all this, you can leave that. Don't got to touch that. The medium, you can leave that as well. That's only for me to worry about. Tags, obviously you're going to go in and put all your keywords. I've already got like NFL, fantasy football, DFS. You can add player names, Aaron Rodgers. If you're doing FanDuel advice, you can type handle. You can do search strings too. So if you want like FanDuel, if I could spell, lineup for, let's just say 9/27. Click add. So you can do stuff like that because these are all Google search strings. So this is going to help your article get noticed on Google by putting tags here. Put as many tags as you want as long as they make sense. You don't want to use tags that are not in your article. Like you don't want to put anything that doesn't correspond to what your article is about, because Google will actually ding you for that. Featured image. I'm going to go ahead and remove this featured image and then show you how I got it there. So it's just a link. You just click on set featured image. It brings up your same media folder. You can either drag and drop whatever image you want in there. Always try to pick a wide image or landscape image and make sure it's high res. I've already pulled this image over there, so we're just going to select that image for now. Then click Set Featured Image, and you give it a few seconds and it'll appear right there. Format, always leave it at standard. Don't touch anything here. Categories, you're just going to select your relevant categories. So if you're doing daily fantasy and NBA FanDuel, select that. Always select featured. Featured will put your article at the top of the home page. There's 7 featured articles, so your article will appear there until the 8th article is published after yours, and then it's taken off the featured section. But always make sure to select that. Layout, leave it as the default. Instant articles, leave it as yes. It should default to that. Authors, you can leave that. Post adverts, leave that. Instant articles, don't worry about that. Pod episodes, you can leave that as well. Most of the stuff you're not going to touch. Share location, just leave that. All right, so when we get to the SEO, this is the single most important thing you will do next to actually writing your content. So this part you really need to nail down before you can start publishing on your own. So the first thing you want to do is, before you start doing anything, save your draft. And I'll show you why in a second. So we're going to click Save Draft. And bear with my laptop here. It's been working overtime tonight. All right, so saved draft. All right, so now we're going to scroll back down to the SEO box. First thing you'll notice is they've kind of filled some stuff in for you. They filled in your title, your description, and your keywords are already filled in. We're going to change some of this stuff. But before you even start doing that, if you go to social settings, and you're going to see the images that you've added to your article. This is your featured image. You're going to want to select that. Now the reason we did save draft before we did this, if you don't save as draft, these images will not show up. The only one that'll show up will be my default image, which is my logo. So always save draft and then do this. That way your images will show up. You select this. Basically, this is the image that'll be shown on Facebook and Twitter. Whenever you post the URL on Facebook and Twitter, this is the one that they'll see on Facebook and Twitter. If you don't change it, it'll show up as my logo automatically. All right, so now we'll go back to main settings. And usually, like I said, I usually change the title. If you want to keep the title exactly the same, I would still recommend copy pasting it into this box, and I'll show you why. It'll actually tell you how many characters you've used. And if you get too far to the end here, like let me just add a bunch of J's. And when you start getting close, it'll turn yellow, and when you go over 60, it starts to turn red. It means your title is too long. So that just kind of gives you an idea. You can just basically copy paste it, see how long your article is, take out words that may not, need to be in your title. Description, you can leave it if you want. It's just the first few sentences of your article. But I recommend changing it and trying to put keywords in there. So if you were to like put down breaking down tonight's typo. Tonight's, I'm just going to forget the typos and we're just going to go with it. NBA slate for FanDuel 9/27. So basically I just put in NBA is a keyword, FanDuel is a keyword, the date when daily fantasy comes into play is also a keyword. So you can put something in like that. Keyword, you're just going to put the main ones, DFS, FanDuel, NBA, whatever. Don't use more than 5 keywords here. Very important you don't over keyword it here because this is also Google recognizable and they don't want to see too many keywords here, so no more than 5. Usually 3 or 4 is probably best. All right, excerpt. This is what's going to show up on the app. Usually I just copy paste my exact title again, whatever my title was that I copy pasted up here. I just paste it here again because that'll show up on the app. I think that's pretty much it. I added this little checklist down here to make sure you hit everything. So we did the SEO title description. We did some in-post images. Spell check and grammar check, that's on your toolbar up here. Let's see right here. So this little ABC, that'll check your grammar and your spelling. I also recommend installing Grammarly, which is this right over here. It's just a plugin for your web browser. You click on this little button here, and it does this little thing, and it'll eventually bring up a separate window with all your errors course, it's not going to do it. Yeah, here we go. So you can just literally go through and start changing the stuff that they tell you to change. You don't have to change everything. Some of it doesn't make sense. So you can click ignore, but it'll tell you literally every error you've got. Now I used a random generator, so this text is all kinds of confusing, so don't try to read that and think what the hell is he writing. It was just generated randomly. Alright, so that's Grammarly. Let me go back down to our checklist. Auto link all players. If you need to learn how to do that, I can show you. It's pretty easy to set up. Basically, it'll link all your players' names in your article. But for the first few times, I'll do that for you, so don't worry about it. We added the featured image, and let's see, we checkmarked the featured image under social settings. We did that, and then make sure you add tags and check marks to your categories. Once you've done all these things, you're pretty much ready to save it as draft and let me look at it. And that's pretty much it. That's your basics. As we go on, I can teach you some more things on how to make your article a little more Google friendly. But this is the basics. If you can nail these things down, then you're ready to publish on your own. And that's it.